The next age group that we'll be talking about is going to be from 12 to 15 months, okay? From 12 to 15 months, what are some of the motor milestones and social and verbal and cognitive? So we learned that from 7 to 9, the baby can sit alone, they can crawl, and they can move objects from hand to hand, right? So now the next thing is going to happen, their hands started working fine. Now their legs are going to start working fine. So what they're going to be able to do is they'll be able to stand, and they'll be able to stand alone. That's one of the motor things that they're going to develop. They're also going to have the Babinski disappear. So Babinski will disappear by the end of 1 year. So this is also going to happen here. So from 0 to 3 months, socially we saw that there were social smiles. From 7 to 9 months, we saw there was stranger anxiety, and they both started with S's. This one also starts with an S, and we are going to see separation anxiety. Okay, separation anxiety is going to start from year 1 onwards. Now, what about verbal and cognitive abilities? This is the time when they're going to start saying few words. Okay. Now, this is the end of the whole from 0 to 12 months approximately. Now we're going to be looking at toddlers. So the beginning of toddlers, which is start from 12 to 24 months, or 1 to 2 years. I like putting down 1 to 2 years. And some of the motor skills that the toddler is going to develop between 1 to 2 years is that they are going to start making blocks at about 1 year. At about 1 year, they're going to start making 3 blocks. And at about 2 years, they're going to start making 6 blocks. So we multiply 2 times 3. This is 3 times 1 is 3. Now this is 3 times 2 is, they're going to stack 6 blocks at about 2 years. Now, other than the blocks, this is also the time when the child is going to start climbing stairs. Okay? Because just the time frame before, the baby was able to stand alone. Okay, now they're starting to climb stairs, going a little forward. In terms of social, there is going to be rapprochement. And what it means is that the child is going to go away from the mother and play and do whatever the child wants to do or the toddler wants to do, and eventually they're going to come back to the mother. So socially we're going to see rapprochement. In terms of verbal, at about 2 years, they're going to be able to use 200 words. They are also going to make sentences, 2-word sentences. Now you can see that there's quite a bit of twos involved. At about 1 year, the child is going to be able to stack 3 blocks. At about 2 years, the child is going to be able to stack 6 blocks, which is 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, and again there is climbing stairs, which happens motor under the motor category. Socially, rapprochement and the verbal and the cognitive skills, they're going to be able to use 200 words, and they're going to make 2-word sentences. So that's what's going to happen between 1 to 2 years. Moving forward to 2 to 3 years, some of the motor things that we're going to see is that the toddler will be able to feed him or herself, feed themselves with fork and spoon. Okay, that's going to happen between 2 to 3 years. Socially, they're going to have core gender identity. Okay, and verbally, at about 2 to 3 years, they will be able to use more words. So more words. Usually by 3 years, they can use about 900 words. Okay, That's what's going to happen verbally. This is also the time frame when the child is going to learn how to toilet train. Or another way of remembering it is going to be P at 3, okay? P at 3, because the child toilet trains at about 3 years. So now let's talk about what happens at the age of 3 years and onwards. From 3 years, at the level of motor, they are going to be able to use a tricycle, or or 3, which is tricycle, okay? They'll be able to use a tricycle at the age of 3 years. They will also be able to copy circles and lines, okay? They'll be able to copy circles and lines. And so now this is what's going to happen at the level of motor. Now what's going to happen at the level of social skills? Now socially, they will be comfortable away from the mother. Comfortable being away from the mother. That's what's going to happen socially. And what about verbal or cognitive skills? Like I mentioned before, at about 3 years, they're going to be able to use 900 words. And they're also going to be able to use complete sentences. So that's what's going to happen at the level of verbal or cognitive skills. Now that's 3 years and onwards. But what about the 4th year? Now at about 4 years, the child or the preschool child will be able to develop the simple lines and circles into simple drawings. For example, stick figures. Just an example, but they will be able to learn, or they will be able to do simple drawings at about 4 years. Other motor skills that the child is going to develop are they will be able to groom themselves, okay? And by grooming, I mean they can brush teeth, they can button or unbutton buttons. So zippers and buttons, they'll be able to use them. So you can see how the skills are improving. Before, they only used to copy circles and drawings, and now they can actually draw a picture. They can use their skills to brush their teeth. They can groom themselves. Zippers and buttons become easier for them to use. Socially, this is where they're going to develop imaginary friends. And this is the first time we will be seeing that they will have cooperative play. Okay, they're going to have cooperative play. So this is the 3rd and the 4th years are the years of preschool. In terms of verbal or cognitive, they're going to progress from using complete sentences to they can tell a detailed story. Okay, this is what's going to happen at the verbal or cognitive level. So those are the developmental milestones. In the next video, I'll be going through some questions, kind of discussing, how questions come on this particular topic.